Hello everybody, it is Monday. It is the last week in May, so I thought it would be really cool to do a reading vlog. It's a bit of a weird time to do a reading vlog because I'm actually in the middle of a bunch of stuff, but since it's the last week of May and I have a lot of really cool stuff planned for this next week, I thought that it was, it was not the worst time in the world to do a vlog. So I'm going to start with the books that I know I want to get done between now and the end of the month, and the audiobooks I want to get done. So I'm reading two books right now. The first book I'm reading is The Pact by Jodi Picoult, and I'm about 50-ish, a little less than 50 pages into this book. And this is a very dense book. I like it. It's very heavy-hitting. It's very dense. It's about two families. They've been best friends forever. It seems like. And the children enter into a suicide pact. And it ends with the daughter being dead and the children are dating and the son surviving. And so it's kind of them, the family's kind of, I can't even think of the word, like reconciling with the fact that their children entered into this suicide pact. So I'm reading this kind of like at a slower pace. My goal is to read 50 pages of this today, so I'll update later and see how we did. The other book I'm in the middle of reading, a physical book, is Members Only by Pandya. And this is about a man who sits on the board of the tennis club. It's kind of like a country club, but it's like only for tennis. And they have a swimming pool too. And he's Indian, and he's like the only person of color at the tennis club. And an African-American couple applies to join, and he ends up making what he thinks is a funny joke, but it's actually a really off-color racist joke, and it ends really badly, obviously. And then he's a professor, and his students accuse him of being a reversed racist and having an anti-Western bias based on some of his lectures. And now his son has done some stuff as well. And so I'm about 180 pages into this book. My goal is to have this one done by Wednesday. I have a buddy read going on this week with a friend on Bookstagram, and we're reading Layla by Colleen Hoover. And I'm not a big Colleen Hoover fan, but she picked this book, and I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to give it a shot. I also have Imposter Syndrome by Wang, and this was my book of the month pick, and I haven't read it yet, and I've been trying really hard to read my book of the month books as I read them. I also have The Queen's Gambit going on as an audiobook, and I'm a little over halfway done with that, so my goal is to be done with that Wednesday or Thursday. And then I was going to do The Handmaid's Tale next as an audiobook, but I woke up this morning to such exciting news. My hold for Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas came through. It's the prequel to The Hate U Give, so I'm definitely going to listen to that next. Hi guys, future Christina here. Gotta interject, correct past Christina for her mistake. We saw Kylo Ren in passing in Galaxy's Edge, but it was Darth Vader who we met. And I should have remembered that because I pissed him off. Because he came up and I went, "Hi Anakin," in this really cheerful, upbeat voice. And the handler who was with him was like, "He prefers Lord Vader." So I decided not to ask him for a hug, which was what I originally planned to do, but I chickened out. If you have done that and asked Darth Vader for a hug, please let me know how that came out, because I'm highly intrigued by that. Hey everyone, so it's later, it's like 9 o'clock-ish. I'm showered, had dinner, then shower. And now I'm going to read a little bit, watch some CSI. I'm working on The Pact. I read a little bit already. It's definitely starting to pick up. I'm using an app called Read More, and what it does is I like that you can enter in the length of books, because different editions tend to be different lengths, and then sometimes like Goodreads count like the author's note and appendices and everything, things that you might not necessarily read. So this you can enter in, and then you can also put in when you want to finish the book by, and it'll tell you how many pages you have to read a day. So my goal is to finish The Pact by in a week, because I'm reading little bits at a time, but I realized that I have to start Layla tomorrow by Colleen Hoover for a buddy read, so I'm trying to get a little bit ahead, and I'm weird and I have to be able to, I don't like stopping like in the middle of chapters, and unfortunately Jodi Picoult has quite long chapters. So I'm going to try, I think I was supposed to read like 30 or 40 pages. I think I'm going to try to get up to page 115. So I have about on page 80, so about 35 pages left. I've read about 30, 40 pages already. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and then I think I'm going to head to bed, and tomorrow I'll continue listening to the Queen's Gambit and continue reading Members Only, but then start Layla and read the Pact. So it's gonna be fun tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm in my car. I'm not driving. You can see fiance's car right next to me. House is in the background. So I'm getting ready to head to work. I definitely finished what Reed Moore said I needed to finish for the Pact yesterday to reach my goal and finish by next Monday, but I wanted to read a little bit more, but I was so tired, so I had to stop. The book is definitely starting to pick up, and I'm really liking it. I have Members Only with me. My goal is to read at least 100 pages of that today. I also need to read about 100 pages of Layla today and about 40 some pages of the Pact. But right now, since I'm driving, or will be driving in a minute, I'm going to put the Queen's Gambit on and listen to that. So I'll check in with you guys when I get home later today. Bye, guys. Hello, everybody. I just got home from work. I have a snack. I was listening to the Queen's Gambit. I have like 3 hours left. Normally, if I was going to work tomorrow, I'd be able to finish it, probably, but I work from home tomorrow, so I won't be able to finish that, but I'm going to make some progress in the Pact and Members Only. I want to read 50 pages of the Pact, 75 pages of Members Only, and then this is like super optimistic to try to get like 90 pages of Layla all done tonight. Probably not going to happen, but Wednesday is usually my big day for reading, so we'll see how that goes. So I just finished reading about 80 pages of Members Only. I had read like 20 something at school. And it's okay. It's like an okay book. Not really loving it. It's not really focusing on what the summary on the back implied that it would be focusing on, and that's really something that annoys me about books. Like, be transparent in what the book's going to be about. I find the main character Raj to be kind of pretentious and full of himself, and I'm having, for whatever reason, just having a lot of trouble keeping the character straight. I'll finish it tomorrow though, and I'll be sure to let you guys know what I think. Right now, I think I'm going to read a little bit of Layla. I'm going to start that one, try to get about 80 some pages into this one, and then read a little bit of the Pact. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, balancing 3 books at once. It should be interesting. I am so tired, guys. I started Layla. I'm like 30 pages in, and it is. I'm just trying to get my bearings with this book and try to figure out what exactly is going on. But I definitely think that I set some goals that were a bit too lofty for me today for reading. I'm exhausted. I woke up last night. We have a king size bed, and my fiance he's not like in the middle of the bed. He's like on my side of the bed, and so I'm like kicking him and shoving him. I'm like, move. I had to do that twice last night, so that made me very grumpy and crabby and everything. He thought it was hilarious today when we were talking about it, but I'm slightly less than thrilled about it. I'm like, you have the whole bed and you're on my side of the bed. So yeah, but I'm gonna try to read a little bit more of Layla. I don't think I'm gonna be able to read any of the Pact today, and I'm a little bummed about that, but you know, I gotta get some sleep. Tomorrow is my work from home day, so I definitely have some more time to read, which I'm happy about. So I'm hoping to make up for that and finish Members Only, read more of Layla, and read more of the Pact. And I'm just gonna kind of see what's going on with that. So yeah. I am so tired. I think I'm gonna go to bed right now. I'm like 40 or 50 pages into Layla, and I have no idea what the heck is happening in this book. All I can say is I'm definitely loving it. I feel like I'm going to continue to love it. At least I hope I am. I'm not a big Colleen Hoover fan. I know that there are like some definite die-hard fans out there. I read Verity back in the fall and I liked it. My mom hyped it up a lot for me, so I think it didn't live up to a lot of that hype. But when it comes to Layla, I'm definitely enjoying it, and I really can't wait to see how everything unfolds. Luckily, tomorrow I have plenty of time to read. So until then, good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. Had a bit of a late start today because my commute consists from going upstairs to the basement for some meetings. So yeah, yesterday I didn't get nearly as much reading as I had hoped done, but today my goal is to read more. Definitely read more of Layla. I'm really liking it so far. Want to make some progress in the Pact, and I also want to finish members only. So we'll see how all that goes today. I'm not really going to have time to listen to any of the Queen's Gambit, but my goal is to finish that one tomorrow on my way to and from work. So I just finished members only, and that was alright. I think I'd give it like a 3-ish. I thought that the main character, Raj, was really full of himself. I thought that the ending just kind of like wrapped up too neatly, and everybody's like, and everybody lived happily ever after. And that it just was kind of meh. So the main premise is, I don't know if I talked about it, this character, Raj, and he's on the membership committee for this tennis club he belongs to. And there's an African American family that applies, and he ends up making a racist joke. And the book made it imply that, like, it was really going to focus in on that, but the majority of the book focused in on he had some students at school who said that he had an anti-Western bias. He is a lecturer, he teaches anthropology at a local college. And so it really focused in more on that. And I'm like, but the title and the cover really imply a focus in on the tennis club. And that really annoys me when books do that. Like, be upfront with what you're talking about. Like, say, that's the majority problem, and then on top of that, he did this other stupid thing. And he just was, like, full of himself. He's like, but what I did wasn't that bad, and just all sorts of really obnoxious things. And then in the end, it's like, and everybody learned their lesson and lived happily ever after. So I think I would definitely give this book a 3. I also read a little bit of The Pact this morning so far. Not a lot, but a little. And it's really starting to pick up. I know I said at first that this was going to be like a slower read for me, but I'm thinking that might not be the case, and I might like really dive into this book a little bit more. So we'll see. So I'm going to read 50 pages of that right now, then maybe take a break, do a little bit of Layla, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm just going to bounce between those 2 books all day, and yeah, that's the plan right now. So I'm laying in bed and I'm reading The Pact. And I realized I never really talked about what this book's about. It is about these 2 kids, Chris and Emily, and their parents have been friends since before the kids are born. And the kids were best friends growing up, and then they start dating. And then one day, everything kind of like falls apart because the kids enter into this like suicide pact, and Emily ends up dead, and Chris survives. And it's the family's trying to pick up the pieces and everything, and it's kind of told through what's going on now being 1997. That sounds about right. And then so like events leading up to the suicide and the suicide attempt, and it's a dense book. It's very hard to read, and I was doing better, and now I'm struggling again with it with Emily. Her
obvious depression in a time where depression and mental health are not talked about as much. And I just got to a scene where she and Chris had like broken up for like a week, and she became very depressed, and she carved Chris's initials into her arm with a paper clip, and that just brought about a whole other layer of difficulties that I haven't really addressed or talked about openly and candidly with many people. And that is, I had a best friend in 7th through like 12th grade, not 12th grade, like 9th or 10th grade, sorry. And we were best friends, and she had some mental issues, and she was in denial about it, and she was not taking the medication that she needed, even though it was being provided to her by her family, and she was not taking advantage of the help that she was being offered. And she carved a word into her forearm. I don't remember. I can close my eyes and I can see it. And I don't remember the word, but she carved a word in like big block letters into her forearm. And then she had cuts literally from her wrist to her elbow. And she never hid it. She never hid it. She always would wear, you hear about cutters and who wear long sleeves all year and who try to hide it. But she never did. And it was literally solid cuts and this word, I think it was like insane or something, carved into her arm. And the scene just brought about a lot of those memories. And so I'm really just imploring anybody out there who's suffering to please make sure that you reach out, you get help, you know that you are loved, you know that there are people who care about you, and make sure if you see someone in your life who is suffering, that you don't just tell them, oh, it's all in your head, get over it, or you're fine. That it's a legitimate problem, and that you make sure that you let those around you know that they are loved and that you love them. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the Pact right now. I think I might take a tiny break from reading for like a half hour or so and just kind of breathe, and then maybe read a little bit of Layla and come back to the Pact a little bit later in the afternoon once I've had time to digest, to kind of process, and to kind of reset my mind a little bit. Brief update about Layla. I'm really liking it a lot. I know they said that last night, but I'm really liking it. I read The Sundown Motel last year by Simone St. James, and that's a ghost book too, and I didn't find it scary. And I used to be addicted to ghost books when I was in middle school. So I really wanted something scary, and I think that I'm going to get it more from this book, but with a twist. Just kind of like how Verity was like a thriller, but with a twist. So I'm liking it. I'm liking the thrills. I'm liking the spookiness. And I'm definitely excited to keep reading it. I'm still reading Layla, and I'm just going to be honest. I have no idea what's happening. I mean, it's not the whole ghost part that I have no idea, but if you've read the book, like that other part, that I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm hoping I'm specific enough for people who have read the book that they know what's going on, but vague enough that people who haven't read the book and want to, they're not getting spoiled by it, what I'm saying. But yeah, that whole other part, like, what in the world is going on? I'm like 100 pages in. I'm going to try to read more. I have a buddy read for this book, so I have to be up to page like 190 I think it is, by tomorrow. And then then I'll read the rest for like Monday. And I just really, really hope I have enough self control to not like just blast through the whole book. So I think I'm going to text my friend who's reading the book as well, see how she's liking it. And yeah, and I love it so far. It really is a great book. I'm really bummed right now because I have to stop reading Layla. You might say to yourself, well, why does she have to stop reading Layla? Since it's a buddy read, we kind of split the book in half and we have to read half by tomorrow and then finish by Monday. And it's killing me because I love it so much. It's not as creepy and spooky as it kind of started out at the beginning, but I love it so much. This might be controversial, but I think I even like it more than Verity, which is saying a lot. Verity was just very hyped up, in my opinion. My mom loved it. She's like, it's so weird, it's so twisted, it's so messed up. And I read it and it was weird and twisted and messed up, but I think it was just a little too much for me. It was just, I don't know. It had me spinning my wheels the whole time. And Layla, I'm definitely spinning my wheels, but not quite as much. But I love it. I really do. Definitely, I think probably my favorite book I've read this month, which is making me feel great because I've had a really rough month when it comes to reading. So I think I'm gonna switch over to the Pact now and read a little bit of that. I'm at like 230 some pages that I've read today, so I kind of want to see if I can hit 300. I think so. It's 4:45. Um, I have book club in like an hour, but I definitely think that I can get another 70 pages in between now and when I go to bed. At least I hope I can. So, not a bookish poster update right now, but it's been storming and now it's all sunny out, but it's still like raining kind of hard. So, I'm secretly hoping that there'll be a rainbow that we see. I really hope so because the sky's getting really clear now, like I said. But there's still, if you kind of go up a little further, there's still some clouds, and I think this is the cloud that's giving us some rain right now. I've also decided I don't think I'm going to go to book club tonight. It's online. I'm really tired. Dinner's in the crock pot, so it's cooking itself and everything, but I'm tired right now, so I think I'm going to lay down for a little bit, watch some TV, and then get back to reading the Pact and hopefully hit that 70 page mark so I've said I read 300 pages today, because not gonna lie, that would be pretty awesome. So another not book update, but there's a little tiny bunny, well, it's not very tiny, in our yard. It's not the best angle, but I'm kind of afraid if I go outside then he'll run away. But oh, hi! Yeah, he knows I'm talking about him and wanted to say hello. So there's a lot of bunnies in our neighborhood. It's pretty awesome. There were a bunch in my old neighborhood too, but I feel like I definitely see a lot more here. So yeah, that's our little bunny. So I'm making some progress on the Pact, and it's really, really picking up, and I'm definitely enjoying it. I have some ideas about where it's going to go. I'm not entirely sure if I'm correct or not. I'm interested to see. And I'm just going to keep reading right now, but I definitely have some ideas about where it might go if Jodi Picoult is going to like twist everything on its head a little bit. So, have to wait and see. Hey guys, I'm not entirely sure how, but I did manage to read 300 pages today, which is super awesome. More specifically, I read like 330 some pages. Didn't feel like I read that much, but I think it's because I spread it out over those 3 books that it didn't feel quite as much and quite as daunting. I'm going to keep Layla at home because I have to shelve that temporarily because it's a buddy read, and then I'm going to keep the Pact at home. I have a little over 150 pages left in that one, I think. And I'm going to start Imposter Syndrome tomorrow by Kathy Wang. I think it's Wang. Kathy Wang or Kathy Wong. I'll put it in the comments, in the description down below. But that was my book of the month book, and it's about a woman she lives in Moscow, and she's recruited by Russia's
intelligence to come over to the United States and like steal secrets and stuff. So she works for Silicon Valley, and then at this company like a few years later. And then there's another woman for the company who kind of figures out that someone's stealing secrets, and that's not cool. So yeah, it sounds really cool. It sounds really relevant, but in a way that like a lot of books that are relevant today are dealing with issues such as Black Lives Matters and Islamophobia and things like that, which are super important issues. And I have definitely been reading a lot of books about that. This just seems relevant in a completely different way, which is kind of cool. It's about 344 pages, I think. That's really specific, but I think that's what it said. The print's a little big, so it looks like it might be a pretty quick read. So I'm starting to think now, can I manage to squeeze one more book on top of everything I've been reading in before the end of the month? So I'm hoping I will. We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I am going to bed because I am tired, so I'll see you in the morning. Bye, guys. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Last night I totally meant to talk about something I've been struggling with reading all these books, is where to fit them into my reading challenges. So I'm doing 2 reading challenges this year. I'm doing the 52 book challenge and the Avengers reading challenge. I'll make sure to link both down below. And the Avengers one is where I've been struggling a lot. Well, both, because not a lot of prompts are left on either. The Avengers one, I feel like it's been even more of a challenge, because what you do is you have like the superhero, and then there's like 8 prompts for them, and you can use the same book across multiple prompts as long as it's for the same superhero. And so then that's been like a struggle, see where everything fits the most, and I'm trying to maximize everything. So if a book only fits one, I'm kind of like, but I'm really at that point now with a lot of them. So that's been like a huge struggle for me, figuring out what can fit where, what goes where. I'm also going back and forth on if I can, in fact, squeeze another book in by the end of the month. And last night, after I recorded, I was like, there's no way. And this morning, I was more optimistic and was like, I totally can do it. And then I was like, well, maybe not. And then I looked, and I only have about 130 pages left in the Pact. So if I finish that by tomorrow and make significant progress on Imposter Syndrome and finish that by Saturday, I definitely think I can finish one more book by the end of the month, especially if I go with the book that I'm thinking I'm going to go with, which is one I'm pretty excited to read and was not expecting to be in the mood to read quite so soon. So I'm not going to say what it is, because I want it to be a surprise, and then if I don't get to it, then nobody will hold it against me. So that's about it for right now. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to head to work. My fiance had to drive out of town for a business meeting for just today. He drives there and back in a day, which is pretty exhausting, but that's the nature of his work sometimes. So I have the evening to myself, which I'm really excited about. So I'm definitely going to get a lot of reading done tonight, a lot of reading done today. I have a planning period today at school, so I tend to use a little bit of that downtime if I'm caught up on everything else to read. So yeah, that is my plan. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the Queen's Gambit today, though. I was looking at the time, and I think I'm going to have to finish it tomorrow, just based on how much I get done listening to and from work every day. So I definitely think that that's going to be an audiobook that I finish tomorrow. But that's the plan for today. Let's see how it goes. Hey guys, I am home from work. Super excited. I have about an hour left in the Queen's Gambit, so I'm going to try to listen to a little bit of it tonight so I can finish it on my way to school tomorrow. I made a lot of progress in Imposter Syndrome. I read about 100 pages during lunch and my planning period today. So I think I'm going to go upstairs. My goal is to do about 60, 70 pages of the Pact tonight, along with maybe 40 or so more pages of Imposter Syndrome, and make some more progress in the Queen's Gambit. But I'm liking all the books I'm reading. Imposter Syndrome, I'm really enjoying. There's some like they kind of go off on like these tangents and like little anecdotes and everything, and then they introduced something that's like super important. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, there's this, and kind of just like threw it out there, and I was like, wait, what? And it came out of nowhere, but I'm liking it a lot. It reminds me a lot of The Americans, which was a TV show on FX about this couple who are actually Russian spies and everything. And I remember watching it and not finishing it and keep saying to my fiance, we should watch it, we should watch it. And then we haven't yet. So I'm hoping that this will be like some motivation to watch it and finish it. Like, I think I only got like through season 1. I don't even remember. It was a really long time ago. But yeah, I'm really liking Imposter Syndrome. It's very interesting, and I'm expecting to continue liking it as I read it. So yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs, watch The Masked Singer because the finale was last night, and my friend already spoiled some of it for me. But I'm gonna go watch that, read some of the Pact, and drink some wine. This book is seriously gonna destroy me. It started out so slow, and I mean it was emotional, but all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm gonna take your heart and like squeeze it as hard as I can, and like make you feel all the feels. And oh my gosh, I'm feeling all the feels. I feel so bad for Emily. I know before I was saying I feel bad for Kate, and I do, and now it's Emily, and I just want to hug her because she's backed into this corner, and it was not a corner that I ever expected her to be backed into, but she is, and she doesn't see a way out, and I don't even know. I have no idea, but I just want to like hold her and tell her that she has so many choices and so many options, and she doesn't have to do what she's going to do. I know she does. That's the whole premise of the book. But it's like, I don't even know. I can't even like vocalize what I want to say and how I'm feeling because I don't want to give it away. I mean, this book's been out for a while, for quite some time now, but still, I mean, there are people who probably haven't read it. I mean, I'm just now reading it, and I don't want to give anything away, but I'm like processing through what's happening and what's happening with Emily and how she's feeling and how she's reacting, and it's just mind-blowing and heartbreaking and so many emotions all tangled up together. And it's so beautifully written. It's a really solid book. So I'm all caught up with reading the Pact for today, and I'm definitely going to be able to finish tomorrow. I have like 60 or so pages left, and it's like, it's so heartbreaking. And it really, even though like it starts with this girl's death, it really didn't get heartbreaking for me until like right up to the trial. And like I mean, I just keep saying I want to like reach into the book and hug these characters. And I mean, you have these two sets of parents who think they're doing the right thing for their children. Emily's parents to get justice for her, and Chris's parents to help him be found not guilty. And they're just coming about it in all these different ways. And it's very interesting that you have 4 characters, 2 sets of parents who are coming about grieving and reconciling this and everything in profoundly different ways. And I think it's very well done, very well balanced. And you have one character and you're really rooting for that character, then you have another character who's doing something completely different, and then you're rooting for that character even though they're working against each other, which just leaves you as the reader kind of spinning in circles and not really sure what to think and what to believe and what you want to happen. But you also know, I mean, I think I know what happened. There's some flashbacks too in the events leading up to the suicide, so I'm thinking I know what happened, but we don't know yet. I haven't gotten to that point yet, and so I'm hoping that when I do get to that point, that I'm definitely going to get some answers that I'm looking for in this book. So I'm going to take a break from reading right now. I think I'm going to grab something to eat, hop in the shower, and then I want to try to crank out a little bit more of Imposter Syndrome because I am so determined
to squeeze one more book on top of all of these in before the end of the month. And in order for me to do that, I need to make a lot of progress in Imposter Syndrome tonight. Hey guys, so I'm winding down on reading for the night. I've made some substantial progress in Imposter Syndrome, and I like it. It feels like a slow burn to me at times, and it kind of like jumps between a bunch of different events happening, and then it'll like jump from one thing to another, and there's no like segue, so you can't tell if this is something that happened in the past or is happening in the present. But there are parts of it that I really like. For example, they're like, so the main character Julia, she is basically a Russian agent who created this tech company, or acquired this tech company in Silicon Valley, and she's mining the data for the Russian government. But they're also using that data to like take out enemies of the state. So it's kind of like showing what those enemies of the state were going through right before they were assassinated and everything, which I think is kind of cool in like a macabre type of way. But it's I like that part. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool how they do all of that, and I'm enjoying the book. There's a little bit more tech jargon than I'm comfortable with. I am not a techie at all, but it's not so much that I'm lost in what's happening and everything, which is nice. So yeah, I've made it to page like 150, which is great because I started it today. I'm going to try to make some more substantial progress on that tomorrow, and also try to finish the Pact. So fingers crossed, we'll see how that all goes. In the meantime, good night everybody. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning everybody. Happy Friday. I have about an hour and 7 minutes left in the Queen's Gambit. So with like the credits and everything that they do at the end, I'm really like fingers crossed, hoping that I can finish it on my way to school. I want to get a good chunk of Imposter Syndrome done today, and I want to get the Pact done today. Definitely have 60 pages left in that, especially because we got a call last night and some very exciting things are happening for us tomorrow. I'm not going to jinx it by going into more detail, but hopefully tomorrow I'll have some exciting things to show you guys on top of reading. I know this is a reading vlog, but this is something that's so exciting that I probably won't be able to contain myself and will have to show you guys anyway. So that being said, I'm gonna put some shoes on, grab my lunch, head out the door, and listen to the Queen's Gambit on my way to school. Hello everybody, I'm home from school and I have like so much to talk about. I really should have like written it down because I'm hoping I won't forget something. So I finished the Queen's Gambit. I got to school, I had like 5 minutes left, and so I just listened to it before my students arrived at school, and I thought the ending was fabulous. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. I loved how it ended so much. I really felt like it was like a 50-50 shot as to how it was going to end. So I was pleasantly surprised to find out the way I thought it was going to end was wrong. I don't want to reveal anything, keep this spoiler free, but I loved it. I really did. I'm so excited to watch the show. Unfortunately, my fiance is like, "Oh, that sounds like a good show. I want to watch it too." Seriously? I've been trying to find some shows that I can watch without him over summer vacation, and I was hoping that would be one of them because he doesn't go for period pieces quite so much. Of course, this is the one time where he's like, period piece. Seems kind of cool. Although it's like a period piece, like light, because it's in the 50s and 60s. So it's not quite as heavy and intense in the historical aspect of it. So I read some of Imposter Syndrome, and I feel like such a fool. Like, it has like dates scattered throughout, and it wasn't clicking. I feel like such a fool. It takes place in 2019, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it clicked. So it deals with Russians mining basically secrets from the social media network. Very relevant, something that has happened. And it dawned on me that they're doing it at this point and trying to get all this information
probably because of the 2020 not Olympics, election. Like, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. I don't want to turn this into anything political, but I felt like such a fool that I'm like 200 pages into this book, and then, like, duh, I feel like it was definitely a slap in the face and something I should have realized much, much earlier in the book. Um, Also, I started Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas on the way home, and the narrator speaks really quick. Normally, I listen at about 1.75 speed. I just slow it down to like 1.5, 1.25 speed because he speaks really quick, and that's coming from me. I speak so quick, but I love it. I'm like an hour in, and I'm like, yes, love it. I might like it more than The Hate You Give. So it deals with Maverick, Star's dad from The Hate You Give, but as a child, or not a child, as like a teenager, and the synopsis talks about like he finds out his girlfriend's pregnant. So I'm thinking he finds out about Aisha being pregnant with Seven. No, Seven's born. They think Seven is King's son. And so it starts with Maverick finding out, getting the DNA test to find out that Seven is in fact his. And Aisha, in true Aisha fashion, just like dumps the baby with him. And so then the whole like finding out that Lisa is pregnant with Star is going to be the big thing. So he's dealing, it's like a lot. It's so well written, and just like the tone and the voice is just, oh my god, oh my gosh, so good. And then it has a male narrator, which makes perfect sense, and he has that attitude, and like, oh my gosh, I love it so much. I Like I said, I think it might be better than The Hate You Give, but I'm only an hour in, so I'm going to hold off on that judgment until I finish the audiobook. Unfortunately, I won't be able to finish it for this reading vlog. I'm sorry. There's a lot happening. I'm like in crunch time to finish books because I definitely want to finish The Pact tonight, Imposter Syndrome tomorrow, start another book. It's actually sitting right here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can see the backs of my books right here. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we also have like a big surprise happening tomorrow. And I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to surprise you guys all tomorrow with it. All I can say is that I have been like over the moon excited about it all day long. I've been telling everybody who will listen to me that it's happening, and my students are excited, my friends are excited, my coworkers are excited, my family's excited. Everybody's excited about this. My fiance, he's like he was so excited too. So we have something that's really exciting happening tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll have to tell you what that is. So we'll take a little bit of a break from reading so I can tell you what that is. In the meantime, I think I talked about everything I wanted to, which is good. I'm watching last night's Law and Order SVU, loving it. So good, dealing with domestic violence, but it's a female abuser and a male victim, which is something they've kind of talked about something similar in the past with Carisi's brother-in-law, but it's something that's not discussed a lot. So I'm liking it. I'm really liking how it's going, and it's bringing light to a very, very important issue. So I'm going to keep watching that. I'm going to read a little bit of Imposter Syndrome, finish The Pact, read a little bit more of Imposter Syndrome, and I have a Google Meet in 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours, with my fiance's family. So I have to read so I can hop on for that and talk to them. So yeah, once I finish The Pact, I'll hop back on and let you guys know my final thoughts. See you then. Hi everyone. So I've started reading The Pact again, and I mean I just got like one like little chapter in, and it's just like it's breaking my heart. It's breaking my heart so much. I keep saying it over and over again. I want to like reach into this book and take these characters and hug them and love them, and just I don't even know. I've said it once, I've said it before. If you or someone you know is struggling or just I don't even know. Please know that there are people out there who love you, who care about you, who want you here
with you. I'm going to link below some resources that you can use if you need just someone to talk to. And just know that I have been there too. I have been there. I know what it's like. And every day I am so grateful that I'm here. And I'm like getting emotional and everything, but just please know that there are people here who love you, and I love you, and I want you here. And you can always comment, message me, and I'm always going to be here, and I'm never going to judge you for no matter what you do or what you think or what you're going through. And I really wish that Emily in this book had the same thing going for her. And I really am determined to finish this book tonight. I think it's going to take a lot out of me emotionally, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish this book tonight. I'm still working on the Pact. I don't think I'm going to be able to get much more done in Imposter Syndrome tonight, but a lot of my plans opened up for the weekend, so I think I'll be able to still continue on with what I plan to do. The Pact, though, it is getting intense. The emotions, like, every time I think I'm, like, at the peak of, like, the emotions, it's, like, raised to the next level. And I'm like, I don't know how many more emotions I can take. I'm so close to finishing. I'm, like, 30-some pages away. I definitely cannot go to bed till I finish this tonight, no matter how exhausted I am. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to keep updating you. And you might see some ugly crying tonight. I really don't know how this book is going to end. I just finished the Pact, and oh my gosh. I had to like physically cover the book with my hands when it got to the part with the verdict so I wouldn't like just jump ahead and find out what happened. And I seriously regret all of those years where I was like, I hate Jodi Picoult books. I hate Jodi Picoult books, because this book, I give it like as a very solid 4 out of 5. It was a slow burn, which is not something I go for a lot, which is why I'm giving it a 4 instead of a 5 out of 5. But it was beautiful. It was poignant. It just, the emotions. I can't remember the last time I had a book that just captured so many emotions so beautifully on a page. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. It is definitely worth reading. It has trigger warnings, obviously, for suicide and then for sexual assault. It is still definitely a book that should be read. And I loved it so much. I really, really did. It's late. I have a very exciting day tomorrow. I'll tell you guys more about that tomorrow. In the meantime, I did not make as much progress with Imposter Syndrome today as I wanted, but c'est la vie. That's life. I think I'm going to just accept that as a part of life for today, go to bed and get up early, finish Imposter Syndrome in the morning, and then I will read Layla, and I'm really feeling confident that I'll be able to squeeze one more book in for this reading vlog between now and the end of the month. So that's the plan. I keep saying that, but that's the plan. We're sticking to it. We're making it happen. I'm going to bed. I'll see y'all in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's the weekend. We have some exciting things happening today. I'm like I said last night, I did not make as much progress with Imposter Syndrome as I wanted, but I am so determined. I got up early today. It's like 7:30-ish, 7:48, so a little later than that. So I have about 2 hours before I have to leave to go take care of some stuff, but I have about 100-ish. Let me look. On like page 260. Yeah, about 100 pages left in Imposter Syndrome. I totally know I can get it done before I leave today, which is great because then that opens up my afternoon to start a new book. And I'm excited to show you what that new book is and what this big surprise is. So hang out, relax.
I'll be back in a little bit and I'll tell you what that big surprise is. I must say I am super proud of myself. Not even 10 o'clock and I've read 100 pages. I finished Imposter Syndrome by Wang. I thought it was okay. I felt like there was this like big build up to this like climactic ending and it just kind of felt really flat. And then just everything kind of wrapped up and I don't know, there was so much build up to nothing. And that really bothered me a lot. And there was a lot of tech jargon that I really honestly did not understand at all. I can like turn my computer on. That's about it. Anything else beyond that, my fiance handles. And it was just very confusing. I was not a big fan of it this month's book of the month. It was like at a 3.75 for me, and I think I'm dropping it down to like a 3.5. And I wanted to like it. I really did want to like it a lot more than I did. I might even drop it to like a 3. It's somewhere between like a 3.5. I'm like a 3.25 maybe. I'm overanalyzing it. I'm way overanalyzing things. But I'm not, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm waiting for the next book of the month stuff to be released. Hopefully that'll be released today or tomorrow because it's so close to the end of the month. In the meantime, I have somewhere I have to go in about 10 minutes that I'm quite excited about. And then I have to run some errands and I'll be home. Then I will start my next book and I'm so determined to read one more book and finish Layla all before the end of the month. And that's on Monday. So I have today, tomorrow, Monday. It's going to happen. I'm going to do it. I hope. Let's see. But I'll be back in a little bit with a big surprise for everybody. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I know it's already Sunday. I did not update a lot yesterday, but I have a really good reason for that, and that reason is right here. Come say hi. This is Willow. Say hi, Willow. We adopted a puppy yesterday, and oh my God, I'm just so in love with this little thing. I mean, she's wide awake. It's like 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. I was wide awake, so I got up, and she's, as you can see, all over everything and everyone, and just, she wants to be right with me, and she's gonna sit right here. Okay, cool. This is my life right now. Say hi. No, we're gonna climb. We're climbing. Okay, I did. Now we're climbing on the back of the couch. I feel like I should not encourage that. I did start a new book. So after I finished Imposter Syndrome, I did start Shadow and Bone, the first Christoverse book by Leigh Bardugo. So I'm like super not into it at all yet, but I'm determined to finish this one by tomorrow, along with Layla. So we'll see how that goes, especially because I have this adorable little one here to distract me. Yes, you are so distracting. She likes to be underfoot all the time. So I'm gonna head to the grocery store probably about an hour and a half. Try to get some reading in with this one here. And then, oh, you're sleepy? I hope you are. And then get our day started because my cousin is stopping by because she has not seen the house yet. And she wants to meet the puppy because everybody wants to meet the puppy. How could you not want to meet this adorable face? Say hi. Say, I am wide awake. I don't like the food Mommy bought for me. It's too big for my little tiny mouth. So for those of you wondering, she's a rescue. She's a 8-week-old Chiweenie, half Dachshund, half Chihuahua, they think. Hi. She's wired. I'm gonna put her down on the floor. She loves to play. She likes to chase the tennis ball. I have a little tiny one. That seems to be her favorite thing right now. And I'm totally cool with that because we have a lot of space, a huge backyard for her to play in once she's old enough and big enough to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna play with the puppy and do some reading. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Hey everyone, so it's Saturday night. Sunday night, sorry. I haven't done nearly as much reading as I wanted today. A bunch of family came by. They wanted to meet Willow. I mean, obviously, she's stinking adorable. She's sleeping right next to me. We had a little accident on the bed earlier. Took her outside. She sniffed. She didn't do anything. She wanted in. Kept trying to leave her outside. Bring her upstairs. and all of a sudden she has to go to the bathroom. It's part of having a puppy. Anyway, I'm reading Shadow and Bone, about 150 pages in. I want to get like 50 more done today. I like it. I'm thinking a lot of like similarities with Scythe. I read Scythe by Neil Shusterman last month. It was in April. It was fabulous. Such a good book. I have Thunderhead, which is the second one on my TBR cart. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. But I'm like, I mean, mine is the whole insight. She doesn't have powers, but, you know, being trained for this job, lots of prestige behind it, all of that. I really like a lot of that. What bothered me about this book was it just like jumps in. There's not a lot of world building, and that left me feeling very confused at first. And I'm slowly putting the pieces together and everything, but it took a while. It definitely took a while for me to get to the point where I'm kind of understanding everything. But I'm liking it. I'm going to read 50 more pages, and I'm going to come back with another update on what I think. So I'm about page 200 of Shadow and Bone right now by Leigh Bardugo, and I'm really liking it. Like I said before, I'm finding a lot of connections to Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I struggled a lot because there wasn't a lot of world building, and I really felt that this like last chunk where Alina is just training, it's kind of dragging. It is dragging, but I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I'm definitely going to try to finish this and Layla tomorrow, so that's my goal. I'm working really hard to meet it. I'm trying to think. I'm so tired right now, but I'm really determined to finish both of these books and wrap up this reading vlog having finished 5 books and 1 audiobook, because that would be absolutely awesome. Plus I adopted a puppy this week, so lots going on. I think that's about it. I'm gonna go to bed, get some sleep, get up bright and early tomorrow, keep reading, and finish the books. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is the last day of my reading vlog. Sorry, I keep looking down. Willow's like running everywhere. I'm gonna insert a video of her running around like a nut, because how can I not? She's adorable. So she slept like all day yesterday. We had a bunch of family come visit, and I think it overwhelmed her. So she like slept all day yesterday, and now she is just bouncing off the walls. But despite that, I'm gonna try to finish. I'm like halfway through Shadow and Bone and about halfway through Layla, and my goal is to finish both today. So I'm gonna take her outside and get started on reading. So good news, I have way less in Layla to read than I thought. I thought I had like 180 pages to read, but I actually have like 110, which makes a huge difference. It's like a huge weight off my shoulder because I'm really pushing myself to finish both of these today. So yeah, so I'm gonna finish Layla now. About 70 pages left in Shadow and Bone. I can do it. I know I can do it. It's happening. It's gonna happen. Willow's helping. She's chewing a bone. I was trying to get her to take a nap. She fell asleep. I moved her to her bed. She's like, oh great, time to play now. So that's life. But she's adorable. We're loving it. Say hi. Say hello. There she is. She's saying hello. All right. And I'll fill you guys back in with my thoughts once I finish Layla. So I started reading Layla again. Got like a page, not even a page. And I haven't read it since we adopted Willow. And I totally forgot. I don't know how I forgot. But I totally forgot that one of the characters in this book, her name is Willow. And so that is not, I just want to make this super clear, that's not where we got the name from. I wanted a Disney name, so I was looking at lists of Disney names, and my fiance really liked Willow, like Grandmother Willow from Pocahontas. I wanted to go more Lord of the Rings with Arwen, but I conceded to Willow. We agreed that I could pick the next dog's name. So that was the compromise we made. And now I have to go because looks like she's going to jump off the couch, which is never a good idea because she's so tiny. So I'm going to get back, see what she needs, and get back to reading my book. So I have like 40 pages left in Layla, and all I can say is like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? What the hell is up with this book? It is so twisted, but I love it so much more than Verity, because in Verity the characters were just awful people, and in Layla the characters aren't quite as bad, but just, I'm not giving away any spoilers in this vlog, but I just, what? If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read the book, you need to go pick it up right now and start reading it, because it's amazing. It is so good. 5-star read, definitely. And I'm not even done yet. So I'm gonna go finish, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. I just finished Layla, and it was amazing and wonderful, and it was definitely a romance, which is something I don't go for a lot lately, but unlike any romance I've ever experienced before, it had suspense, it had a paranormal aspect. I definitely cannot recommend this book enough. The ending was twisted, convoluted, but not in the sense of Verity. Like Verity, I've said it before, I didn't like the characters. They were awful people. So this, you at least had some really wonderful characters that you were rooting for. And so that made the ending super satisfactory, really fulfilling. All around fabulous book. Definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. I don't even know how much more I have of Shadow and Bone, but I'm going to finish that one too, and then I'll be done with all the books I wanted to read for this week's reading vlog. Hello everybody. Sorry if I'm moving around a lot. I'm trying to keep Willow entertained while I record this by just sliding my feet back and forth. So I just finished Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which it's the first book in the Grishaverse trilogy, and I really liked it. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5. I loved how you had the cultures that were based off of like Russia and Scandinavia and Asia and Germany, and I thought that was a great touch. I like it was like subtle, not so subtle nods to all of that. And then on top of that, you had a great magic system in place. There wasn't a lot of world building, so it took me a while to get into that and to kind of understand what was going on with that. But once I got a grip, it was kind of like woven in throughout everything. But at first I was like, I am like in the deep end without any like water wings or anything like that. But I eventually got there. There was a lot of establishing where things are going to go. And so I definitely think that the second book is going to be better. I definitely am going to get it and check it out and hopefully read it this summer. So, stick around. I'm going to do a quick recap soon of all the books I read this week for my reading vlog. Alright guys, I am ready to wrap up my reading vlog. It has been very exciting. Sorry, I have Willow with me and she's set loose in the bedroom, and I'm very afraid that I can like see her reflection in the window that I have my camera propped up against, and she's just running around like a nut. So anyway, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I managed to finish. I think I read 4 I started and finished, and 1 I just finished for my reading vlog. So let's do a quick recap. First, I read Members Only by Samir Pandya. This was okay. I thought that it wrapped up too neatly in the end. I thought that it just was kind of meh, what it kind of implied that it was going to focus on, which was the racist joke at the tennis club was not the main focus, but instead Raj's problems with accusations of reverse racism at his university. So I just felt like that was a little bit misleading and a little bit frustrating. The next book I read was The Pact by Jodi Picoult. Definitely a top contender. Heartbreaking, just beautiful. Oh my gosh, it just made me like want to reach. Sorry, I can see Willow and she's just running around like crazy. It made me want to just like reach into the book so many times and hug and love so many characters. I used to hate Jodi Picoult books, and now I definitely am a big fan of hers now. Was that a bark? That might have been a bark. She's attacking a pillow. We're good. Next was Imposter Syndrome by Wang. This was my book of the month pick. That was okay. Once again, kind of wrapped up too neatly in the end. Like, I didn't feel like there were a lot of consequences for a lot of people when there should have been. But I did feel that it was very relevant, very interesting, definitely eye-opening and worrisome about how easy access there can be for social media. And it reminded me a lot of FX's show The Americans, so I might watch that over the summer because I don't think I watched the first season. Then I have the 2 books I finished today. First was Layla by Colleen Hoover. Loved it. Loved everything about it. It was beautiful, amazing. Oh my gosh, just twists that I did not expect. Gorgeous romance, love story. Hi, Willow. 5 out of 5. And finally, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Definitely going to check out the rest of the series. No, please don't chew on my books. Definitely going to check out the rest of this trilogy. Please don't chew on the books, baby. Definitely going to check out the Six of Crows duology. I think I'm going to look that up right now after I finish with this. Definitely going to watch the show on Netflix. I was explaining it to my fiance. And I'm trying to find shows that I can watch over the summer because I'm a teacher. And shows that I don't, because there's a lot of shows we want to watch together. So I'm trying to find some shows to watch without him. And that brings me to the audiobook I finished, which is The Queen's Gambit, which I thought was great. I'm really glad I did the audiobook of it. Because there were a lot of like techie chess jargon. And so I was telling my fiance about the book and the TV show. And he's like, that sounds good. I want to watch that with you. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, once I told him, like, I was joking around, he's like, oh, you can watch it without me. But I really, if he wants to watch it, we'll watch it together. And I definitely want to do that. So, but Shadow and Bone, I don't know if he's going to want to watch that with me or not. I described it. I think I sold it a lot, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm definitely going to get the next one, which is called Siege and Storm. And I am also going to check out Six of Crows. So with that being said, that was my whirlwind of a week. I got a puppy. I read 5 books, did an audiobook, started Concrete Rose, which I'm loving. I think I love it more than The Hate You Give. That might be blasphemy, but that's what I'm feeling right now. And I enjoyed it. Check out when I get it published. This is probably going to come out before it. My monthly wrap up to also see the rest of the books I read this month, including the ones I DNF'd and why I DNF'd them. In the meantime, come back in a few weeks. I'll have a new reading vlog with plenty of new books to read. Until then, bye guys.